actually have a Raspberry Pi on them. It's doing the video processing and all the web interaction stuff. Most of the robots actually have like a motor controller or something on them. You can do an Arduino. Most of mine are using like these parallax prop boards. It's like a multi-core Arduino basically. And I even have the whole platform repo on published as well. So if you want to look at exactly how the platform works, you can do that. Also, Discord, like if you want to get set up and have some questions, like our Discord's a great place to go because you can just go in and ask. There's a robot setup help channel. And so there's people there that would help you with that. Let's see. So if you get to the site, you'll probably not see all of these things on the left-hand side. You'll just see like browse or add a server. So if you go to browse, you'll see all of these servers. I haven't added images to upload yet, so they're all the same image. But all these ones outlined are green are live and public. And so I could click on any one of them. And like, this is Andra's robot. I was driving around earlier. Hi there. And if you have text-to-speech hooked up, you can actually make the robot chat with this. So part of my inspiration for like the general layout and the functionality of the site is Slack or Discord. So if you're not familiar with Discord, you're probably definitely familiar with Slack. So everybody sort of has their own server, and that server has channels. So if we go back to my server, you can see I have all these channels here. Like if I wanted to like add a robot, let's back up a little bit. I'm just winging this demo here. If you click on these, you'll get different robots. You can see that these are live. Ones that aren't live, so there's no video. You can also edit these controls here. So it's just a big JSON file. So if you change something here, controls, like it will just dynamically update right away, and everybody who has the page open will see all the updates. So you can change what commands are getting sent to the robot and all that stuff. If you want to add a robot, there's a link down here that says add a robot. You basically just type in a name and you'll get something like this with an API key. And that API key is just used to like in the settings config on the controller software. So this is what you enter to sort of identify that this is this robot. And then you just sort of point that at whatever channel you want to, and then it'll start streaming, and the rest of the site should like kind of hook up there. Let's see, so we've got the chat, we've got the controls. There's some settings on the servers too. So like one option that you have is to like add a server. You make a server, like you just type in the name and then that's it. If you want to configure it, there's a settings, and you can put this unlisted so it won't list in the public directory, but you can also make it private if you don't want other people to get into your server. We've been kind of playing around as well with this experimental like phonetic filter for text-to-speech to help us moderate like the live public robots. And I think those are kind of the main point. Oh yeah, and also like one more thing too, like if you want to just invite users to your server, there's an invite users button. So you can copy this you can generate a link, you can copy that link to your clipboard. So if you give this to people, like it'll give them a special link where if they sign up to the site, it'll direct them straight to your server. So once they get done with sign up, they'll land straight where you want them to be. And I think that's about like kind of the overview there. So like there's a lot of fun silly things that people have made. Let's see. So we got, the claw machine is being played right now. There's 7 people on it. I think that a lot of our community is doing this like cure COVID-19. They're like donating part of their computer time to help fold proteins. I think this interface may have broken down. It's okay. Let's see what else is on. This one's fun. This one's just been added not too long ago. Oh yeah, somebody's playing it already. Somebody made a beer pong game. So you just aim the ball and shoot it, and it goes in a cup. And then it's like, hey, you got the thing. Fun. And then yeah, it doesn't matter like what kind of robot. Like it could be, I hope that's one of our users. It can be like this one's just a string of LEDs. Whee! Yeah. So it's just like, fun sharing stuff. And I've been noticing we've gotten a little bit of an uptick since we've been in lockdown here in San Francisco. So if I didn't mention that, I live in San Francisco, so we're under shelter in place right now. So like Monday, I had to go grab all my stuff from circuit launch and then bring it back over here so I could work. So now we're locked in with all these robots and all that fun stuff. So that's kind of basically what I'm working on. So I think it's got some relevance to our current era.
It does. The challenge is how do we share this more successfully? So can I just throw the floor open for any questions that anyone here has? Don't forget to unmute yourself.
I'll start. I wanted this to attack the squirrels that were eating my vegetables back when I had a backyard garden. Has anyone tried to do something like that? Crowdsource squirrel defense.
I've seen squirrel cams and bird cams. I don't know if there's any live right now. I don't think so.
But it could be. Someone has taken it outside. Yeah. They had like the lawnmower bot. And I'm sucker for the cat cam.
Oh yeah, we go outside like all the time, and yeah, there was one where we were just playing with. We had like a bunch of cat toys and a laser. It's not live right now, but that one was super fun.
Awesome.
Like I probably have. Wait, it's probably we can do. Let's see if they're all in here. Oh yeah, these are them playing with the dog.
So I was kind of inspired in that way to, I call my robot cat toy, but it plays with humans more than our cats because our cats are kind of really scared. So no one's caught them yet. Yeah, definitely not my cats. So I know you've made it so that people can create public servers and private servers. I'm always fascinated myself with the thought that so many people are working on things like this for the workplace. But this is more fun.
So yeah, we could do. Yeah, I don't know. Any other questions?
I'll say I'm kind of curious if you sell any kits or if you would ever consider having a build day. I'd sure love to just build one and have one wandering around whenever I'm around circuit launch. They certainly make me happy.
Yeah, it's definitely like a lot more it's a lot less lonely to have these guys wandering around, considering we're kind of stuck in the house all day now.
Yeah.
As far as kits go, hey, don't bang on the door, please. Oh, they want in. Hold on. Sorry, I left the other robot outside. Sorry. Guys can be together. So I had actually wanted to start working on an official kit again, and I had just ordered the parts this last week, and then all this stuff started hitting really fast. So I have the boards ordered that I wanted, and they're shipping to my house, which is great. And then I got the motors from Circuit Launch, like when I went to go get that on Monday. So a kit's something I definitely want to develop. That's like a whole package. But yeah, I still have to work on that, and I wouldn't mind doing some tutorials and like build days and that kind of stuff once that kind of gets together. Kind of the tough thing now is, like, even though there's a lot of hardware that is accessible to Remo, it's kind of getting hard to get things right now, because I know Adafruit's shutting down. I think Amazon's sort of reducing the number of things that they're offering at the moment. So that's the only sort of like drawback. Most of the robots that are on Remo right now are just like custom user-made robots, and so everybody's kind of like figuring out how to do their own version. But we do have like that common controller software, which is open source. And then there's certain kits that work pretty well. Let me see. So like if you have an Android phone, we actually have an app that'll work with the Sphero rover, and then you just put your phone in there and it'll pair with the base, and then that's like a full robot with the camera, microphone, speaker, and then drive around pretty good. So there's like sort of a few ways in there, but like I think that I've kind of made a really good, well-rounded, maybe a bit overdone MVP. And I do want to spend some more time trying to get the robot side more accessible to people.
There's a way to connect the Cosmos as well. And now that another company has purchased the Onki assets, hopefully they're releasing the SDK for the Vector, because I know Jill was trying to get that online, but she couldn't access the microphones and the audio, so that was a problem.
Yeah, so the Cosmo works, but you have to run the controller on a separate device, so you still have to have a separate computer and a separate phone and the Cosmo. So it's a little not that straightforward. On the Vector, we had everything working, I think, except the microphone, and that was just because Anki had not written or had not created an interface to get the microphone from the Vector. So hopefully they can get that, and then the Vector can actually run everything on the robot itself, so we don't have to pair it with a phone or anything. And then that should be able to do everything independently. And I think the quality of the video and stuff is a lot higher on it as well. Yeah.
So if you had a wish list, because maybe some of the people in the group would be interested in perhaps diving into things like the Vector, conversion, or putting together guides, or helping write some of the code for some of the bits, or helping source some of the difficult to find, the boards that you've been spending ages trying to source, because they're a pretty unique kind of item. So I think if you put together a wish list of things you'd like people to help with, we might be able to get people involved.
Yeah, maybe. Like probably the number one thing is I still need to develop a kit, and if like that's something that I could definitely collaborate with somebody on, and if I don't have to do it, great, because then I can keep working on the site.
Mhm.
So I'd be happy to collaborate with somebody, because plus I'm not like a professional, mechatronics engineer. I just hack stuff together. So working with somebody who's a little bit more knowledge, like has more of that deep knowledge, would be great. Yeah.
Oh, and I should mention that you've also got a Patreon where people can support you because you're currently living on Ramo to build Remo, which I'm sure anybody who's done a startup can understand. I'm just trying to, do you have the link for that handy? I'm having a quick search for it.
Yeah, it's on the front page of Remo, if you're logged in, but
Of course.
it's let me see if I can
Oh yes,
share
the
the,
support on Patreon.
I think that, oh, there is a chat. Aha. There we go. That's the Patreon. Yep, and so I have that hooked up to where if you get one of those rewards, it'll actually give you like a little badge in the chat and stuff too. So I'm trying to make like something tangible for users if they actually like donate and stuff. So I got a few people on there.
So I'm just putting this into a document as well. Not that that's working so well, but I will swap over and screen share that in a second. Do we have more questions for Jill? I will just flag, I would love someone to help me write a grant to go into the IEEE, because I would like to see kits for Remo that we could use for women in robotics as a kind of teaching tool, teaching step, because many of the things that had come up in our board meetings were, can we do something about having a kind of introductory curriculum for women in robotics? And, I think this has been one of the fun ones because we come together as a community on our build days and, help people put together their kits. But then it also means that you can be connected. So I don't know where my robot's gone now, but I can imagine that we could set up servers for women in robotics as something as well. As indeed you can do for your school or other educational kind of group, which is probably one of the prime user groups. Although I know you at one stage had quite a bit of interest from education.
Oh yeah, I still do. There's actually a guy that is making he's actually making a kit that's designed for education, and he's including like Remo integration, and I think let me pull up the link real quick. Found it. Yeah, so this guy we've been collaborating with as soon as I can get back to the window. So I'm putting that link there. So he's making those to work with Remo out of the box. We've also, I'm pretty good friends with Ken Gracie from Parallax Robotics, and they've got kind of a custom kit working with us as well. Oh yeah, that's the Parallaxy that Andra has. So that'll all work on Remo. And then yeah, just a couple other people. These are all still very early kind of budding relationships as well, so they'll still take a little bit of time to bake. And I guess I would also add that making a kit for education is different than just like a approachable, user-friendly dev kit that's not meant for specifically engineers. Because one of my goals is to just make all of this stuff super accessible, and to sort of make the complexity of getting a robot online kind of lower. So I still want to make something that's like easy to set up or build or add. And that doesn't necessarily need to teach you how to be like a full engineer or anything. But I still think that other bit's important as well.
That's great. Now, I didn't mean to cut anybody off when I dived in before. Does anybody else have a question for Jill? And by the way, thank you for diving in and just rolling with a very, presentation on the go. We're really stretching to try to convert everything that we've been doing in person into online and see how maybe that can be better in some cases than in real life, because it can certainly allow people who are more distant to get involved. But, there's clearly less of a pull to go to an online event, but I hope we'll change that
and
shortly.
Parents.
Yes.
Because I keep missing all these events because I'm usually making dinner and stuff, and it'd be nice to be able to put up a window and participate that way.
Well, that's good. What I'd like to do is go around and ask everybody to join in on open mic and say something about what you're working on. But I think in the current climate as well, it'd be really good to say something about how you're handling it. And that's certainly been a challenging week or so from my perspective. And it was really nice having a bit of a hangout on the Women in Robotics Slack yesterday evening, just a casual hangout. And we were talking about issues with working at home and things that were different and problems that we were experiencing or challenges. And certainly a lot of those are shared. So Tessa, I'm going to ask you to